3 months and older, it's a baby. It's all flesh and mucus and blood.
We're all flesh and mucus and blood.
Right. Why are you all wearing masks? Why are you not wearing masks? If you want to choose not to wear a mask, that's your choice.
Well, we're talking about abortion here. Let's say a pregnant woman, right? 6 months pregnant. How many heartbeats does that woman have?
I have no idea.
At 6 months?
How many human heartbeats does that woman have?
At 6 months?
At 6 months pregnant, I have 3 children, okay? At 6 months pregnant, there was another heartbeat. No one would think that
So
pro-choice...
you are acknowledging that there's another life that is separate from that mother's, correct?
No, it doesn't. That's not the point. The point is that people make decisions for a myriad of reasons. Okay, a myriad of reasons. You do not know what's inside of a person when they make that decision.
But you just acknowledged there was a second heartbeat, so that's clearly another life.
Protecting that life?
No, not if you choose not to. Not if you choose not to.
So why?
You right now are committing murder. You are walking around and you're spreading whatever you are, whatever could be in your body, and you don't give a shit about that.
Don't worry about COVID. Go get the vaccination.
You said that there was a second heartbeat. When you have an abortion, there's a second heartbeat. There's clearly another life that you're killing. It's not the mother that dies, it's the baby.
You're not.
Is it not a human life in the womb as well?
3 months and older, it's a baby.
It says according to what?
According to me.
What about 2 months and 2 months and 3/4, and then after 3 months it's a baby, but before it's not? Why?
It's not.
But why?
Look it up. It's all flesh and mucus and blood.
We're all flesh and mucus and blood.
Right. That's what I'm for. I've made choices in my life that I'm sure that you do not agree with. But you know what? We make them for different reasons.
This isn't like getting a tattoo or removing a mole. We're talking about killing a human being, ending a human life. Let's say right when the baby's born, let's say a baby's just been born, right? And then this is normal, and I know you don't support killing a baby after it's been born or something like that. But let's say right before it's still in the womb, you're okay with killing it and still in the womb at that point, and versus not killing it right when it's born. What's the difference there?
I mean, most cases when it's a third trimester abortion, it's usually a person who wants to have the child, but then there's some type of complication putting the mother's life
There's
at risk.
absolutely no complication that would require you to get an abortion in a late-term pregnancy.
There is no medical complication at all that would lead to you needing to have an abortion in a third.
Have an abortion? No, there are things that could kill a baby that the mother needs some sort of treatment or something very severe at one point.
But there's nothing that can kill the
There's
mother?
nothing that could kill the mother in that instance. Where
No, they would perform an emergency C-section and get the baby out of there because the baby can survive outside of the womb. That's not a thing.
It's just not a thing that exists at all.
Literally not a thing that exists at all. They treat that baby as a separate individual, separate life that they're trying to save. They would perform an emergency C-section if they needed to, and they would take that baby.
Your opinion is that all third trimester abortions are people who just don't want to have a child.
No, it's actually the overwhelming majority of people. What is that? Guttmacher did a left-wing group. I know you think it's funny, but you guys are defending literally aborting a baby 8 months and 3 weeks, into the pregnancy.
It is our decision. It's not your decision to decide for me, not your decision to decide for anyone
When
else.
it's a unique human being, it's not your decision.
doesn't-
I can't kill him and say, it's my decision.
Yes, you could, but then you'll suffer the consequences of it. You have the liberty to make decisions as a human being.
that end
The
in someone else's life.
the same way. You're making a decision right now not to wear a mask because you don't care
I
what.
identify as someone with a mask on, though, so you should feel safe.
I don't care.
Just
You
saying.
are very possibly infecting this person, possibly even me, because in truth my mask could be, not
I'm
effective.
infecting them with a good time.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence.
I am. I'm on the fence.
Let's talk. Why are you on the fence? I mean, I'm pro-life. I believe life begins at conception when that unique human life is created, and I believe that. I mean, it should be protected.
Great.
Where am I going wrong there?
So I don't think you're going wrong at all. I think there are circumstances that provide for that window of exception. So I
Like what? I mean,
well, the fact that we're already seeing so many people who can't even support themselves, let alone a child, coming into this world because of either rape or incest or something beyond their control or even something inside their control. I mean, unfortunately, we're all 17, 18.
what's wrong with adoption?
No, adoption is great. My mother was adopted. I think it's absolutely wonderful. I think that that's definitely an option out there. However, I think this country makes adoption extremely difficult, and there's so much barrier and red tape that it takes so long for someone to get adopted that a lot of people don't even try. They'll go outside the country where it's a lot easier. Why do all the celebrities adopt outside the country?
When it comes to a baby, when it comes to a baby being born in the hospital, that baby is going to be snatched out, guaranteed. There's between 1 to 2 million couples waiting to adopt a baby at any given time in the United States right now.
But then now
we
you're
adopt
taking that chance away from the teenagers who have been either abandoned or have been in the system for so long that they never got adopted, and now the babies, the shiny bright babies, are being the teenagers lose their opportunity.
But I don't necessarily think that's necessarily the case. The majority of children that are being adopted in the United States, it's 59% of our total adoptions, is from the foster care system. Now, of course, those children in foster care tend to be, the average age is 8 years old. We're not talking about brand new babies going straight to foster care, generally speaking.
Right.
We're talking about people that have their kids taken away from them for various reasons, but is that a reason to end a human life because maybe there's some inconveniences in their life? Would you?
No.
I'm not sure that is
that's where I'm
a
on
good
the
reason.
fence with it. That's where it's like, okay, would I necessarily agree with one side or the other? I think that there are reasons on both sides where there's a strong argument.
So why are you pro-life? Why are you pro-life? Because
I think everybody has a purpose, and everybody, if you went there and conceived a child, it's not, it may be accident to you, but it could happen for a reason. I think everything happens for a reason.
you said you're a little bit moderate.
I think it's like, how do you say, like if there's an extreme case, like let's say, like a sexual harassment case or like, rape of sorts, like then I think there should be some type of choice, right?
Okay.
But that's a pretty extreme case, so.
For every 36 couples that are approved for adoption in the United States, there's only one baby. So there's a plethora, there's plenty of couples that are waiting to adopt a baby. We don't have enough babies.
But then why would they just want to wait for a baby?
Because they can't get pregnant. So they're waiting. There's so many couples that want to have a
But
baby.
then that in itself is selfish, because then you have all these children in the system who still need a mom and dad.
Adopting a baby is selfish?
No, not adopting. A teenager is selfish.
We adopt so many children in the United States when it comes to American children that we adopt more babies outside of the country than all other nations combined. That is an absolute fact.
Okay.
So we do an amazing job at adopting. Now, am I saying that it's necessarily the easiest process? Am I saying that the foster care system is amazing? No, I think there's a lot of ways for improvement. But when it comes to adopting babies in the United States, we do an amazing job. And we're talking about abortion here, right? So we're talking about could they just
Options available to women that are outside of abortion.
Yeah,
are greater than that of just the choice of abortion. That's where you're going with your argument. It's a very valid argument.
That's where I'm going.
It's not even an argument. It's a very valid point.
You see, I'm here for a good cause that could potentially, help the whole world. And you never know what that life could do for other people.
Would you say that you're okay or anti-abortion for all the other 99.5%?
I would endorse abortion. I don't think it's like, how do you say, if the more abortions you have, the better the person you are.
What's the government's role in regulating abortion for all those other 99.5% of
That's the
abortion
thing.
cases?
You probably picked the wrong person for this. I'm actually just on my way to eat, so I'm not very well versed in terms of those numbers.
You don't aborted babies.
Whoa! All right, that term of events. All right.
I'm going to look at the three of you, even the lady with the camera and my wife over there. You said, why is life worth protecting? You wouldn't want me to shoot you in the head, would you?
I would be inconvenienced by that, to put it lightly.
I have a friend who had an abortion 35 years ago. Before I met my wife, she was just a friend. She was crying. She made that decision. She never recovered from it. Lives in New York City. Never recovered, but she's precious. She was a teacher. She loves kids. Had the picture of all her kids in her wallet, but she never recovered. We don't hear about that.
Exactly.
So when we talk about abortion, we have to have a heart that says, hey, there's women out there hurting. And men, by the way. Life is life, and we know that. We're on it. And the enemy doesn't like that.
And the mothers know that, and that's why they
Exactly.
feel guilty after. And if this
Right.
is about women, there's actually a
Exactly.
study from the Elliott Institute that found that women who had an abortion were 154% more likely to commit suicide.
yeah.
Not even to attempt, to commit.
Exactly.
So these are if this is about women and the mothers, why aren't we don't ever hear those voices? We don't ever
Right.
hear those stories.
Right.
If I may, it seems as though you're pretty pro-life, but there is the
Christian
harsh.
side of me is pro-life. The humanitarian in me understands that some people find themselves in circumstances where they don't feel that they have an option and a choice, and they might not make the best choice, but I would not crucify them for that choice.
I don't think anyone's going after the woman for having an abortion. When we're coming down to it, my stance is, the government does need to get involved in protecting that life.
Yes.
No pro-lifer is proposing jailing women for getting an abortion or anything like that. In fact, they are going after, go after the clinics, stuff like that, that
Right,
would
the
perform an
doctors who
illegal
perform it,
abortion
right.
and stuff like that, because I believe I don't know you, but I believe you are worth protecting, because a baby in the womb, given,
Right.
and you understand this, allowing its natural process to continue turns into you and me, right?
Right.
It is a human life. It turns into you and me.
And you never know what we could do in this world.
Is there systems in place, though, that are going to take care of the pregnant woman through her duration of her pregnancy? If that were to cost her job, or if it were to cost her livelihood in any way, how is she feeding that baby, that unborn baby? How is she feeding herself? So there's also that.
There's a lot of charities that take care of all the expenses involved. Families will pay for that, but also
There's also a lot of charities that take care of homeless people, and you still see them scattered everywhere. Charities are not a dime a dozen. They're very difficult to find, and they might not be readily available to those who need them. I mean, you got veterans out here who can't get into the system because of one reason or another, and you've got people who are actively trying to help them, but it doesn't erase the problem.
families that are willing to adopt through an agency will cover all the expenses related to the pregnancy, everything like that. Absolutely.
I mean, so then there.
Most people don't look into it, but it can be $20,000 to $30,000. But there's a lot of Americans that have that money that are trying to, adopt a child and trying to sponsor a mother that want to see that baby see the light of day. You know what I mean?
Good to know. That is good to know.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. Now, we did struggle a little bit to get people to talk to us today, but, it is 30 degrees outside here in Washington, D.C. Isabella, how do you think the conversations went?
The conversations went very well. Didn't get to talk to many people because it was so cold, but the ones that we did talk to, we had great conversations, and you will love watching them.
Absolutely. You guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you want to see more, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment letting me know what you thought in the comment section below. Also, subscribe and hit that bell notification button for more videos. We'll see you next time. The squirrel, why are you following us?